This week, I have been playing in my classes with the concepts of compassion and kindness. And really, I find that it is, if we work on compassion and kindness, it's the best way to try to change our own lives as individuals, and a best way, in my opinion, to see if we can have the biggest impact on the world. And even though it might seem like they're just small little acts, they can also have a big impact and reach. So so with compassion and kindness, um, it's finding that towards everybody who crosses our paths, but starting with ourselves, right? Unless we can find that with ourselves, it's difficult to find kindness and compassion for others. So I was kind of thinking about, well, what's the difference between compassion and kindness? And there's probably lots of different definitions, and people might come at this slightly differently. But for me, I kind of view compassion as it's kind of like a feeling, right? So we can have empathy towards somebody, we can have understanding or towards ourselves. We can recognize that life isn't easy. We can recognize that it's a struggle and it's really challenging, more times than more times than others. But always life is really tough at times, right? And it's also about seeing the best in ourselves and others, right? Um, Maybe it's also seeing ourselves in others. So the thing is, quite often we see people as different, and then we very critical or judgmental. But maybe if we see somebody who's homeless, or somebody who's struggling with addiction, or somebody, right? Maybe we can consider that if we see ourselves in that person and think that could have been me, maybe I made better choices, or maybe I had an easier time as a child, or whatever it might have been, right? Or the parenting I had just happened. Part of it's luck, part of it's, but any of these situations could have been us. So if we see ourselves in other people and consider that that could have been us, right? And finding forgiveness when mistakes are made. So that's how I see compassion. And then kindness for me is taking action. So we might be able to view and look at someone else and go, gosh, that's really tough. But can we actually find some kindness there? Can we give something to that person, right? So or ourselves. So it's treating ourselves or others as though it was as though they're a good friend, right? Or as though we're a good friend. And it can be really simple. It can be as little as caring, as truly listening, supporting, reaching out, um, being there, helping, raising ourselves and others up instead of knocking us or others down, right? So there's a quote by Khalil Gibran who says, the smallest act of kindness is worth more than the greatest intention, right? So we have to actually take action and do something to make a difference. Um, so kindness, compassion allows us to embrace our and other people's imperfections. We're able to offer support when things become challenging, and we can live more at ease once we can embrace that, once we can find compassion and kindness for ourselves and others. And instead of beating ourselves up, kindness and compassion allows us to kind of dust ourselves off and try again. So when things don't go well, if we fall down, it helps us to get back up again. And that's even when we feel like just giving up and we've had enough. And it allows us to be less hard on ourselves and others. So there's kind of a knock-on effect, as I was saying, our reach grows. And there's another quote, and this one I think it's anonymous, but a single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make more trees. So if we're kind to ourselves, it's easier to be kind to others. when we can be kind to others, maybe they will start to be kind to others, and that then grows. Okay, so that's what we're working on today in class, finding that compassion for ourselves, that understanding, that kindness, like listening, finding that love and support that we might need to help us to grow and to live more at ease. So we're going to find a seated pose, however that feels good, sitting up super tall. So you want shoulders away from the ears, bringing the shoulder blades back towards each other a little bit so that you're opening through your chest in this pose. And then you can close your eyes and just pause here for a moment and just kind of observe or notice or just check in with yourself and think about how your morning was or how your week has been. And if it was challenging, really finding some empathy there for yourself. Right? Notice what those challenges were, being supportive if things didn't go in the way that you wanted to. If you felt like you might have let yourself down, right? Remembering we're not perfect. Finding support, finding some kindness, treating yourself like you would a friend. Lifting yourself up somehow, even in those struggles. And then bringing your attention to the present moment. Part of kindness, or the action of kindness, is finding presence in each moment. So bringing yourself into this moment, finding yourself present. Really noticing how your body is sitting, how your hands are touching your legs. What does that connection feel like? How does your connection with the floor or the mat or whatever you're sitting on, how does that feel? We have to notice these things in order to be able to be kind and compassionate to ourselves. Notice any sounds around you, pleasant or unpleasant. If there's unpleasant sounds, being kind and compassionate to yourself, right? We don't always get the calmness, the quietness that we maybe particularly feel like we need. So listen to each sound. Notice it, being in this space, allowing ourselves just to be wherever we are without needing to change. And then bring your attention to your breath. Just notice the quality of your breath before you even start to change it. Are you breathing through your nose? Are you breathing through your mouth? No judgment. It's okay. Just notice, how does it naturally go? How does it naturally flow? How does it naturally feel? And then we can bring intention to the breath, slowing it down, breathing through the nose. Filling the lungs in all directions. Pausing at the top, noticing that pause, and then exhaling slowly, just letting it all come out, but just slowly. So as we inhale, I'd like you to bring compassion and kindness to yourself. So inhaling compassion, kindness for yourself. As you exhale, send that out into the world, to others. So inhaling kindness, compassion. Exhale, sending it out to others in the world. Keep that focus, keep that breath, lengthening inhales and exhales. Breathing in that kindness and compassion for yourself. Exhaling, breathing it out for others. Few more like that. Inhale, breathing it in for yourself. You deserve it. You are worth it. And exhale, breathing it out for others. They are worth it and they deserve it. Last one. So when you finish that exhale, you can just breathe through the nose. Just letting go of that inhaling for yourself and exhaling for others. And just pause here. Just give yourself that break, that space for your mind. A pause. Again, you're worth it. Feeling those vibrations or noticing them or the sounds. And you can gently open your eyes here, switching the cross of your legs if you've got crossed legs, opening the arms up. So we're going to open through the chest. You can reclose your eyes in a minute, but what we're doing is we're going to inhale here, opening through the chest. Exhale, giving yourself a hug with the right arm on top. Inhale, really opening through the chest, pressing the backs of the hands away. Exhale, left arm on top this time. So you can play with it if you want. You can also round through the back as you exhale and inhale, finding that openness. So just working with your breath, you can close your eyes as I said. Inhale, finding that chest openness. Exhale, hugging and rounding if you want with the back. And you're switching the arms each time. Inhale, pressing back. Exhale, rounding, giving yourself that well-deserved hug. Life is challenging, life is tough. It can be a struggle. It's not easy. Giving yourself a hug. Breathing through the nose. Last round. And then sitting up tall, releasing your arms. You can open your eyes. Left arm down, right arm up. Getting a nice side stretch here. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, other side. Inhale, reaching. We're just exhaling, twist. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, twisting the other side. Lovely. Inhale, calming back up. We're going to bring the fingertips down to the tops of the shoulders. And we're going to look up and give ourselves a really nice massage. You're just using your fingers to dig into any muscles where they might need a little bit of attention, or giving yourself a little massage on your neck or on your upper back here. And then you can look down and continue with that massage any way that it feels good. Bring your head up, you're just looking over to the left side, seeing if there's any areas that need a little attention with your fingers. And then calming to the other side, you're just playing maybe with the opposite hand on the shoulder. And calming into center, releasing here. I'm just going to turn onto my side, but you don't need to. You can use a block or books or whatever you might have. We're just lengthening through the legs. But I'm trying to sit kind of on the edge here. If you don't have a block or books, that's fine. It just gives you a little bit more of a tilt in your hips. You can use a cushion also if you'd like. Floor is absolutely fine if you don't have that. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, we're just leaning forward. So I'm really enjoying this pose at the moment. We want to avoid rounding the back. So you might find that your leaning forward is really upright, or maybe it's even back a little bit, and that's okay. So everybody's just different. If you can, and there's no need, but if you can and you can reach forward and keeping that length with the back, go for it. And then breathe here. Toes are active, so bring them up towards the face and breathe. There might be a point where you're just like, I've had enough of this. So being compassionate with yourself, notice that it's not fun and that things are challenging. You can also decide that that's enough for you and you don't want to do anymore, and that's okay. So you're listening to yourself. You might decide you're going to keep going and press yourself even though it's not easy or fun. So you're just listening to yourself, finding that compassion, finding that kindness. One more breath, maybe reaching just a little bit more. No, we're not trying to give ourselves injury, so you're still trying to listen to your body. Inhale, calming on up. So we're coming with the legs opening up here, toes coming up, reaching up here. And again, this might be where you are when you bring your arms forward. Maybe this is plenty where your back is up. Maybe you're even leaning back so you can keep your back straight, and that's fine. You're trying to keep your back as straight as you can. Toes are coming up. If you can reach and keep your back lengthened, then that's where we're going. Otherwise, wherever you're at, breathing and reaching. Maybe you're going to take one more inhale and reach just a little bit further forward. Maybe not. Just breathing, being compassionate, being kind. Inhale, calming on up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. You can bring your feet up so you're still on the edge of whatever you're sitting on, if that's a thing, or you're sitting on the floor. And we're just doing it one more time, and we're just reaching forward. So this you should feel in your hips a little bit. Again, we're leaning, we're trying to get straight back. If you're finding you're rounded, you're just coming back a little bit more, and that's okay. You're still working with the body. You're trying to protect your back. That is finding kindness, right? Not pushing yourself to do something that would hurt you in the long run. Deep breath. Maybe stretching a little bit further forward as long as you can keep your back straight. And inhale, calming on up. This time, feet coming in towards each other, knees coming out to the side. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale again, we're reaching forward, finding that length. The knees are pressing down towards the ground, finding that length. Reaching. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Removing whatever you're sitting on, if there's anything there. Hands and knees for just a moment. Coming down on the forearms. And then we're just going to come down into a Sphinx pose. Pressing the feet down, opening through the chest. So the elbows are right underneath shoulders, and you're spreading your fingers, and you're moving your arms as though you're moving them down towards your hips. They don't really move that far, you're just moving them in that direction. You're pulling towards you to open through your chest. Taking a breath here. And if you'd like, you can lift up the elbows, finding a little bit more space, making sure there's no crunching through the lower back. If it feels uncomfortable, you just come down. Taking a couple of breaths here. Excellent. Coming all the way down, the right cheek comes down to the ground. You can have palms face up. Your heels can just fall out to the side. Just finding yourself on your belly. Taking a couple of breaths. Part of kindness and compassion is knowing that rest is good for you, and it's good to take time when you've worked hard. Finding that ease. And then bringing yourself to center. You're going to bring your arms out front, so you can bring the hands together for the moment. Stretch them as far as you can out in front. Heels coming together and pressing them back behind you. Inhale, lifting up arms and legs. Breathing here. Noticing how challenging it is. Finding some compassion for yourself. It's not easy. And relax. The left ear coming down, palms face up, heels coming out to the side. Just finding that ease. Excellent. We're coming to center again. The left arm coming in front of you. Right arm is going to stretch out. You're going to lift the right arm, left leg. Toes pressing back away from you, fingers reaching forward. That left hand can do what it likes. You might feel that you lift it, but you want to keep your neck in line with your spine. So you don't want to be looking up and getting a crick in your neck. Just breathing here, finding length through the neck, through the fingers to the back foot. And then you can place your hands on top of each other, forehead down, just relax. You can take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale out through the mouth. It can be audible. Ha. 2 more like that. Inhale, nose. Exhale. Ha. Ha. Other side. So left arm out. The right arm can be down on the ground, or you can lift it up next to the right leg. Just lengthening from the toes of that right foot to the fingertips of the left fingers. Stretching out. Lifting up. Breathing deeply. Hands on top of each other, forehead coming down. So we're going to bend through that left leg. The right hand is going to come back to meet it. So it's opposite leg and hand, and you're pressing back. The other leg and arm are coming up. So again, it's challenging. Breathe. You might not be able to reach that leg. That's okay. Just find reaching them towards each other works too. Breathing here. And release. Hands down, forehead down. Letting go. Other side, so bending that right leg in this time. Left hand comes around to meet it. You're pressing it back before you even lift, and then you're reaching arm and leg the other way. You're making a diamond, or you're just reaching towards. Finding compassion. This is difficult. Breathing here. Making sure there's no pain, being kind to yourself. Pain is different from challenge, right, and discomfort. Hands coming down, forehead coming down, relax. Bending through the knees, you can move them from side to side like windshield wipers, just releasing through the lower back. And relax the legs. So you're grabbing onto, you might grab onto a block or a cushion for this, or books, whatever you have, or I can show you an alternative if you don't have that. You're going to take your right arm next to you, so it's perpendicular to your body, coming out behind your body. And you can bring your head down on whatever you have to lean on, or you can make a fist with your left hand and just place it under your head. So those are the options. I'm just going to show you what it looks like on the other side. So I'm turning the other direction just so you can see that the arm is coming out here, and maybe I've got something under my head to keep my neck in line with my back. So that's where we're going. The right arm is out, perpendicular. You're coming on your side body here, rolling over. You can bring your fingertips to the front, and we're just lifting up through that left leg. Breathing here. So left leg is lifted. Bringing it down so it's just hovering over the right leg. So there's a space between the legs. And you can just move that leg forward, so the foot is coming forward for a bit, and you're moving it back behind you, no crunching of the back, so being gentle and kind and compassionate, just taking it as far as it goes, and just bringing the foot hovering again, the leg hovering again over the other. And release, coming the other direction. So we're opening through that left arm, it's coming at right angles to the rest of the body. We're turning onto the side of the body here, and we're inhaling, just lifting that right leg up, finding length, finding openness, breathing here. Deep breaths. Bringing that leg down to hover, and then bringing the leg forward, foot forward. Bringing it to center and bringing it back a little bit. And then hovering it above the other leg. And relaxing it down. Excellent. Calming onto the belly, hands either side of the chest, lifting yourself up. You're going to come into puppy dog here. So the arms come forward, chin and chest coming down towards the ground. The butt is directly above the knees. And breathing here. Calming on up. Fingers, hands just directly under the shoulders. Right leg coming out behind you. Lengthening, inhale. Exhale, rounding, knee to nose or that direction. And stepping that foot forward between the hands, pressing the hips forward. And remember, you might need to have a block eventually or something similar. And again, you can do without if you don't have one. Inhale, reaching forward and all the way up. We're going to lengthen through this front leg here. So that right hip is coming back, left coming forward. So you're twisting, those inner thighs are coming towards each other, toes coming up. Now you might need a cushion underneath that left knee. So just being mindful, being careful, roll the mat up a little bit. And then we're just going to twist. Right arm coming back, left coming forward. Breathing here, maybe looking back at those right fingertips. Now you can stay here, or maybe you can come down a little bit. Grab onto the outside edge of that foot, and it may or may not get there, so don't worry if it doesn't. And then find the twist like that. The balance is very challenging, so you're just playing, finding kindness and compassion if it doesn't work, or if it's wobbly. And keep trying, it's okay. Inhale, coming back up, arms are reaching up. Exhale, reaching forward as we did earlier, finding length through your back, reaching, reaching, reaching with those fingertips. And it may be that you're up here, that's okay. All options are good. Reaching. Excellent. Hands are going to come down and we're going to sit down onto that back foot. So if it feels okay, you're just coming onto the heel. The leg is lengthened, toes are coming up. Inhaling, reaching up here. Exhaling, we're twisting just as we did before. Right fingertips coming back, looking around at those fingers. If it feels okay, grabbing onto the outside edge of that foot and finding your twist a little deeper. Again, if it doesn't work, kindness, compassion, it's okay. Just a pose. Breathing here. Inhale, arms are going to come up. And then exhale, just reaching forward again. Finding that length. Notice where you feel this. Breathe here. Finding kindness. Finding compassion. Reaching. Hands are going to come down. So you've got a choice here. We're going to come up here. We're going to try to come into splits. Now, your choice is that you can just come as we were here and bring something under the leg if you like, or bring something under your arms if you like to find length, whatever works. If you want to work the full splits, doesn't mean you have to get anywhere near it. So it's just about playing with it. You want to just come to 80%, 70%, no injuries here. You don't want to push yourself too hard, but you're just going to lengthen and place something, anything underneath that front leg. So you're just noticing where you get to. You don't have to go to the full extent. So wherever you get to, making sure your hips are square to the front, and breathing. Finding compassion for yourself. This is a really difficult pose. It's not fun. It feels uncomfortable. How can you be compassionate? How can you give yourself that hug? You can even give yourself a physical hug here if you like, if you can, and you're going to fall over. Whatever, just notice it's difficult, it's challenging. Can you be there for yourself? Can you support yourself? Can you cheer yourself on? But being safe, in a safe way. You don't want to push yourself too hard where you're going to hurt yourself. So listening, finding that happy medium. Taking 2 more deep breaths. And then slowly, the challenge is getting out of this. Slowly bring that foot back. Excellent. Moving whatever you have out of the way. Leg comes back. And we're going to come back into puppy dog. Arms moving forward, chin, chest coming down towards the ground. Butt up in the air. Taking a breath or two. Slowly coming on up. Left leg coming on back behind you, reaching it out. Exhale, nose and chin. Sorry, nose and knee coming towards each other. Rounding. And then stepping that foot forward. Inhale, reaching the arms forward and all the way up here. Pressing hip forward, hips forward. And then you're going to come back, finding your balance. Toes coming in, left hip coming back, right coming forward. And then opening up, finding your twist. Maybe looking back at the fingertips of the back arm. So breathing here, you might find wobbles, finding kindness for compassion, and compassion if you're wobbly, if you're falling over. It's okay. It's hard. It's not so easy. If you can, or if you want, or if you give it a go, you can maybe grab onto that outside edge of the foot. Maybe finding a variation of this twist here, but you don't have to go there. It is challenging. So notice that. Breathing here. Inhale. Coming on up. And then coming back to heart center. Maybe lifting the arms up. And we're going to bring the hands down. Sit back down on that heel. Inhale. Oh, wait, sorry, before we get there. One more pose. So I'm giving myself compassion for forgetting the poses. There's a lot to remember. It's okay. I'm just human. I'm not perfect. Arms coming up, not by any means. The foot comes up, and we're reaching forward, stretching. Breathing here. Inhale, coming up. And now we can go to the pose I was going to before. So sitting on that heel. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, finding your twist. However that works for you. Looking back at those fingertips. And you might stay here. This might be challenging as it is challenging. Or you can bring your fingers to the outside edge of this foot. If it gets there, it may or it may not. Being kind, being compassionate, embracing those wobbles, mentally or physically. Breathing here. Inhaling, arms coming up. And exhale, reaching forward, stretching, getting length through your back. Inhale, coming on up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're now coming into the full splits. Now just remembering that you can come into any variation. So you might find that you've got that this is more than enough. And you just can sit here. This is great, right? Or you might find you want to use a block in your hands to help you get to this point. Otherwise, you can move that front foot forward, back foot back, and just finding any variation of this here. Don't need to go to 100%. Please don't go to 100%, right? We don't want any injuries. We're just bringing ourselves into a pose where we feel like we're getting something out of it. Palms coming forward, breathing here. Finding that compassion. This is hard. Breathing that air, that oxygen in to swirl around or to go around our bodies, to feed the bits where it's challenging, where we're tight. Slowly calming out of that pose. Woo. Moving very slowly, moving anything out of the way that you need to, tucking those back toes. This time your fingers are coming down to the ground, tucking the toes, calming back. downward facing dog. So your toes can be down and your heels lifted, your knees can be bent. So notice that this pose where I'm coming forward and my back is round is very different from this where my wrists all the way up to my sits bones are extremely straight. If you can maintain that straightness, you can lengthen your knees any amount, but you don't have to straighten them. There's no requirement. Taking right hand over to the left leg, twisting here. It can come anywhere on your leg. It doesn't matter. Finding a twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other direction. Hand comes back, pressing back into downward facing dog, and just moving your hands back slowly towards your legs. Finding a forward fold here. You can even give yourself a hug around the back of your legs and just bring yourself down, your head down. Knees can be bent any amount. Breathing here. Inhale, releasing the legs, reaching the arms forward with the back straight, lengthening here, flat back. Inhale, coming all the way up, hands touch, a little back bend here, and exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale, we're going to take the right foot up. You can come into a kickstand, you can come into a tree with the foot below the knee or above the knee. Arms are going to come out, pressing the hands back, the back of the hands behind you. Right arm over left, giving yourself that hug. The elbows can come out and up. So giving yourself that hug, you deserve it. You are worth it. Excellent. And then lifting up through that right leg, you're going to step it back behind you. Inhale, bringing the arms up. And then you're going to reach forward here with the arms, with the legs. See if you can, sorry, with the arms and the back. And maybe bringing your chest down towards that leg. Giving yourself a hug underneath that leg if it gets there. Now you might keep your right arm around that left leg. Left arm coming up. So it's a bit challenging. You're giving yourself a hug. Your hand might be here. It might be up a bit. That's fine. Opening up here through that left arm. And then maybe you might reach it up overhead. Again, it's challenging. Being patient. Being kind with yourself. The left hand coming down. You can release the right hand to the lower back here, lengthening through that front leg. You might use a block or something here, or grab onto up a little higher on your leg. Okay? Taking a breath here. And maybe opening up through that right side. Excellent. Rebending through that front knee, giving yourself a hug around that leg, that front leg again. This time the left arm stays under. Right arm lifts up. And maybe it reaches overhead. It's hard. Being kind, being compassionate. Inhale, bringing it up. Left hand coming down to the ground. This time lengthening here. One more time. Great. Rebending through that front knee. Reaching out here in front. And all the way up. Hands come to heart center. Stepping the right leg forward. Palms coming forward. Closing the eyes. Slowing the breath. Slowing the heartbeat. Opening the eyes again. This time we've got the left leg coming up. Below the knee, it can be kickstand, it can be above the knee. Arms coming out, pressing out. And then the right comes over the left, giving yourself a really nice hug. Taking a breath or two here. Lifting that left leg up and back behind you. Opening through the arms and bringing them all the way up. Reaching forward here, finding length. And then maybe giving yourself a hug around that leg, the front leg. This time the left arm is going to stay around. Right arm is going to come up. And then maybe bring that left hand down, lengthening through that front leg. Again, you can bring your hand up any amount on your leg. You can bring it to a block or books. Excellent. Rebending through that front knee, giving yourself a hug around that front leg. It's not so easy. And then you're opening up the other direction. Maybe bringing the arm up overhead. And coming with that hand can come down and maybe opening up through that leg here. Breathing here. And again, you can have that arm any height up that leg. Great. Rebending through that front knee, giving yourself one more hug here. Reaching the arms forward and all the way up. Lifting that back leg to meet the front. Maybe hands together, a little back bend here. Exhaling, hands to heart center for a moment, pressing the fingers, or the thumbs rather, into the sternum. That center of your chest. And releasing the hands, palms away from you. Closing your eyes. Slowing the breath down, breathing through the nose. Very nice. You're going to slowly make your way down onto the ground here. So you can come down any way you like. We're just rolling on down. Feeling the ground beneath you. You can bring your feet out wide and bring the knees in towards each other, just resting the knees onto each other, pressing the lower back down into the ground here. Taking a couple of breaths. Opening the eyes if they were closed, feet coming up. Just breathing here. Still the lower back coming into the ground. If this doesn't work for you, that the lower back can come to the ground, bending the knees here any amount, or having your legs forward a little bit, that's all fine, but the most important thing is back towards the ground, lower back, pressing in, protecting yourself. And then knees come in, give yourself a really nice hug. Relaxing here, knees coming out in opposite directions. Giving yourself a really nice lower back massage as you move your knees in circles going in opposite directions from each other. And then you can switch directions of those knees. So they're coming out away from each other and towards each other as you make circles. You can also give yourself a back massage from your spine massage coming forward and back if you like. Paying attention, looking after yourself. Excellent. And then coming back down one more time, giving yourself a big hug again here. And bringing your feet up to the sky, hands grabbing on the outside edges of your feet, and you can move again from side to side, happy baby here. Trying to press that lower back into the ground. Excellent. One more breath here. And then you're going to bring yourself into Shavasana. So you're going to find your comfortable space. Shoulders pressing down into the mat. You might even tuck them underneath you a little bit so that you're opening through your chest. The palms coming out to the sides, palms up. The toes can just come out towards the sides, just falling. Now, before we get too comfortable here, we're gonna scrunch the fingers. We're gonna tighten the toes and the feet and lift them. So everything is gonna, we're gonna really tense everything up, even the head and the neck. We can even scrunch the face. And exhale, just feeling the opposite of that as we release everything, letting go. And then give yourself permission here to bathe in the ease. That kindness, that kind action towards yourself, of giving yourself the space for doing nothing, for letting go, for just being. That is an act of kindness. So as you lie here, I'm going to just talk you through a meditation which is called metta meditation, which means loving kindness. So I'm going to say some phrases, just lying down on your mat, staying where you are, lying down. And I'm going to say some phrases, and you can, if they feel good, you can repeat them to yourself. May I be kind and compassionate towards myself and others. So say it to yourself. May I be kind and compassionate towards myself and others. May I be present and truly listen. May I be present and truly listen. May I accept and be empathetic when I or others make mistakes. May I accept and be empathetic when I or others make mistakes. And then we're going to repeat those same phrases with may all beings. So may all beings be kind and compassionate towards their self and others. May all beings be kind and compassionate towards themselves and others. May all beings be present and truly listen. May all beings be present and truly listen. May all beings accept and be empathetic when they or others make mistakes. May all beings accept and be empathetic when they or others make mistakes. May I be loving and loved, and may all beings be loving and loved. So pausing now, just staying where you are. And then finding a little bit of movement in your body, maybe wriggling your fingers or your toes. Maybe reaching your arms up overhead, finding length from toes to fingertips. And then giving yourself a final compassionate and kind hug here. Making it count. Truly finding an intention maybe to listen, to be compassionate, to be kind, to be supportive. And then rolling onto your right side, you can use your right arm underneath your head. And gently press yourself up into a seated pose, however that looks, finding length through your spine. Just palms resting on your legs, shoulders away from your ears, shoulder blades together at the back towards each other, and closing your eyes. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale, finding compassion and kindness for yourself. Exhaling, sending it out to the world. One last time. Bringing hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching arms out and all the way up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhaling, to the heart center. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, bringing in that positive energy. Finding kindness, finding compassion for yourself and others. Gratitude for yourself for taking the time and energy for your body and for your mind. And then bringing the hands up to the third eye center. It's always a pleasure to guide you through your practice. Thank you for participating. Namaste.